Hello, it's General Easy, and well, let's get to it, right? So, in today's video, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but it's going to be basically evolving around things that are happening and are going to happen, right? And how we can combat them now and in the future, right? So the title of the video is Wombs, Pillars, and Staircases. Wombs, pillars, and staircases, right? I shall explain. So, we hear these Nazis that formed this quote-unquote Zionist movement. They express a fear all over Europe and Americas, right? They say they have been noticing a tendency. Okay, you can look at the reports released recently. They say that the southern border, I don't know, something like that, has broken the records of immigrants that moved over there all time. The record is broken, right? And they show these lines of just people waiting to be arrested, to be detained, so as they can get a chance, right? And most of them, they say they are young men, and nobody is accompanying them, not with children or with women. Yeah, so they assume that these people are unmarried, right? And they are young. They have concerns, right? They are young unmarried men. Yeah. Well, I said this in the previous video, right? The core cause of racism between fair skin and black skin is it shows its colors when it comes to issue of marriage and basically just sex. You know, they have been programmed to find it to hate the black skin as unsuitable for their children, right? This is mostly done by the older generation, right? The new generation, really, they're so sad they could care less about the race that could make them happy. You know, that's just the reality of where we are, right? So if they fall in love, they will go, but their parents are still fighting the programming and trying to give this inheritance, this racist inheritance. But really, that's just a cover. You know, don't get me wrong, it exists, but really they don't know why it exists or why did it even begin. You know, well, it began because of the fear of prophecy. That's why it began. They feared Judah. Yeah? That's why they pursued Judah from the north, and they went from the east. They came to the east. They even came to the south, trying to corner Judah, right? To encompass Judah, right? And the camps, some camps collapsed, some were captured, some were sent overseas, some were killed, some escaped. Yeah, that's why we are here now, you know, people in Uganda, Tanzania, people who are native from here, right? My mother is Ngoni, right? He ran away from war in the south, right? My father is a Bena, you know, if you have heard of the Maji war, you know. It was a whole situation over there, and the Benas were part of that. So the situation here in Africa has been shaped by war, but why? You know, why? It's because of prophecy, because Judah provide kings, right? And since these people are demons pretending to be people, and some of them are just white supremacists, they are really uncomfortable with the idea of a black ruler. Yeah, they are really uncomfortable with that. You know, they want to at least dilute the blood. Yeah, have a prince that is a hybrid. That's what they say, right? The end of racism is hybridization. Right? That's why we see this push of they say I don't know what to call it, but it's basically just over sexualization, of black men and black women. That has other consequences, but in general is to cause hybrids. I pointed out in the long time ago in the video, I said, look at the ads. For instance, look at the ads. They don't really have especially the women, because it is easy to show a mixed race woman because of their hair, right? They see their hair, and so it's dubious. It's dubious, and it's not gonna work. But again, just like what they say, they want to inject the entire world. It's nonsense. They don't want that. They're just distracting you people to keep arguing with your with this insanity, while they find the king and execute the king quietly, right? So they say they fear Arabs because, I don't know, they are Muslims, and they come from war-torn countries that they don't even talk about, I don't know, programs to get rid of the PTSD or whatever, So we see that the Zionists are performing the same rituals that they did back then, right? Back-breaking, right? If the king of Judah, which is basically the king of the earth, does not marry a white woman and make hybrid babies to make them uncomfortable, then they rather make them sterile, right? That's why they were doing all of these things. Yeah, and they are trying to even infiltrate and get closer to Ethiopia, right? Ethiopia is a portal within itself. It's Arab, it's African, it's white. It's just a disaster, right? But they have chosen it as the chosen one, as they assume like Judah is only in Ethiopia. That's a lie. It's all about Judah. There are 12 tribes, don't get me wrong. And they are all under attack, right? But specifically, Judah. Okay? Judah. Now, you can't locate Judah to any specific country, right? I've told you in the previous situation that we had wars, right? Like, for instance, here in Tanzania, like, it's a pot of, like, every tribe of Israel is, like, over here, Every tribe, So, look at the Maasai, the Ngoni, the Bena. I'm told that they are natives to East Africa, apparently, to the coast of Africa. Now, how do they reach over there in the cold? I don't know. Maybe they come from the south. It's hard to trace before the destruction happened. So it is just a gamble for them. They have to wait, or as they have been doing is to basically cause the apocalypse. If death increases, then God will be forced to intervene. That's their thinking, right? And he's gonna do it, and they're not gonna. It's like prophecy, right? You see it coming, but you can't avoid it, and the measures you take to avoid it are the measures that lead you to fulfilling that. Okay, so that's the situation, right? And okay, a small training to know opponent operators on platforms like YouTube, right? First and foremost, subs. The subscriptions have no weight if they are not connected to views, right? So subs and views, this is one thing, right? So if you find a person, for instance, they have 5 million subscribers and they have 13k views, that is very suspicious. That's very suspicious, right? Or they have like a lot of views, but the views are, in this one case, like the views were the comments were more than the views, right? They can fake likes, and because the algorithm is there to propagate the oppression of Judah, right? So they do these tricks behind the scene to make the game seem fair, but really it is rigged, to raise up their own people, to make their own people famous, so as they can control the apocalypse, right? But that's not gonna happen, right? The more they try to control the apocalypse by trying to paint a different narrative, it backfires spectacularly, as we have seen, right? So let's move on, right? Noisy bulbs, houses are batteries, especially the houses here in Tanzania, right? They're built with cement mortar, right? And crystals. So they are batteries. We shall talk about the repercussion of that in detail, but I have to let you in slowly. Slowly, because I think I once said, I gave this statement, and I said that almost everything that the beast has produced has been weaponized. Everything has been weaponized in one way or the other, right? So, other concepts that we should cover, right? We see the depiction of directed energy weapons in movies, right? And really, it's an issue of demonstration versus reality, right? In order to demonstrate, like imagine if they didn't have those visuals coming out of those futuristic weapons, or they didn't have the sound coming out of those weapons. The directed energy weapons, they are quiet, right? They are quiet. They are really quiet, because noise can ruin the surprise, right? So they are sound based, but it's like a dog whistle, There are a lot of frequencies that the human ear cannot perceive. They exist but cannot perceive because of the electrical issues, because it's really about the concentration of the nerves, right? You see angels across at the edge of your eye, because there is a larger concentration of nerves at the end of your eyes, right? There's a high concentration of nerves there. Why do people touch each other to heal? Because like the hands, high concentration of nerves, right? High electricity, it is there. So do not mix the two, right? There's no pew pew, and there's no red beam flying across, a visible red beam flying across the situation. That's just a demonstration to show you who was hit from a group. It's artistry, right? But directed energy weapons are not what you think they are in most cases. If you go by what these movies have been saying, right? There is a truth, but most of it is a lie. Okay, so we shall unveil that lie painfully and slowly, right? What can these directed energy weapons do, right? They can affect general wellness, right? They can cause disease, pain, or disabilities, right? They can give you diseases by, vibrating the water out of the cells to cause acidity level to rise, and I have explained this, right? They can cause pain, for instance, favorite, right? They can just fill up your intestines with gas, Yeah, fill up your intestines with gas just to cause you stomach aches. And it's also disabilities. Yeah, they have been attacking. Yeah, the last weapon that they used on Sunday, the previous Sunday as I was praying, right? Yeah, they tried to attack my throat. Yeah, they have tried to attack my eyes. They have tried to attack my ears. Now they're attacking my throat because there's a bigger thing happening in the spiritual realm that they are afraid of, and they have been afraid of, and mostly during Sunday, because they know when the prince prays, that prayer is heard, is heard. And of course, they can affect sleep. They can affect your sleep cycles, because in reality, the sun controls serotonin, something like that. Is it serotonin or melatonin? I don't know. I confuse the two. I don't think it's melanin though. I don't think it's serotonin though. But you get my point, right? The movement of the sun and the moon control the sleeping cycles of people, right? So if our brains receive a huge signal from the creation that it's time to go to sleep, then they can fake this signal to cause you to sleep. They have used it today, literally, not even a couple hours ago on me. You just feel, just within not even a minute, how can you feel sleepy in less than a minute? And I attribute this to two things. In most cases, when God wants to speak to me, or it's a weapon. They are trying to move you to the dream world, or talk to you using telepathy, or basically just make you sleep, so as we shall talk about why. Emotions and mood, they can affect them. They have access to the brain because the brain is highly electrical. So they can, for instance, you can go on YouTube and research this. Yeah, there is something called the ghost frequency, and basically people claim that this frequency, when a person experiences frequency in forms of sound, their flight and flight responses is activated. So it is possible. So all of these things in the past, like, I don't know, in fairy tale they say love potions and whatnot, they are possible. Yes, they are possible. They are possible, right? And only God can undo that. That's the helplessness of humanity and the power of humanity also, right? We are so weak, but we are able to talk to a very powerful God that we have, so as he can undo and unravel the trap of the devil, right? Because these are traps. So of course, weather modification is also possible using directed energy weapons, right? And of course, animal control, right? We have seen, like recently, I saw a report of millions of birds just dying across the world. Okay, people attribute this to 5G. It might be possible that indeed it's a weapon, and of course we know that birds and creation in general is highly sensitive to electricity. We know cats, their whiskers can detect the change in electricity. Snakes can literally test electrical signals. They say they are chemical signals, but chemical signals they are not that strong. They cannot travel that long. So they are more like an electrical signal. So their tongues and their faces, they are like whales. They have these things also. Even dolphins have this specific ability to detect and react accordingly to electrical frequencies, right? So if we are the apex, imagine how dependent are we to these systems. Okay, and remember, the reaction of the animals to to the signal, regardless of it being fake or natural, it's the same. It's the same, right? They can fine tune it, and they had a lot of time to fine tune the whole situation. So I tell you this, yeah, it is possible, and a lot more, yeah. People say like zombification. It's the same thing as the love potion situation, yeah. Like you are not in control of your brain, yeah. You are not in control of your brain. They can achieve that using many things and many ways, yeah. They can use LSD, the psychedelics and such, yeah. They can use frequencies. They can use like anything to basically just have control of your brain. But there are levels, okay, and the zombification being the ultimate level, yeah, or possession being the ultimate level, that like the person that whose body is being used to commit all these atrocities and evils, they're in the back seat of their own brain. Right? So you can combine these technologies to make weapons, yeah, like the weapon I've seen recently. Yeah, they created GMO mosquito, yeah, a mosquito that, I don't know, is not like in general, right? We know they can be what do you call vectors. I don't know if my memory serves me right. Let me use that word, yeah. A vector of a certain, or a carrier of a certain specific parasite, yeah. But they can break this boundary by modifying the creature to make it accommodate even more diseases, right? And then, as mosquitoes are also equipped with antennas that can detect electric frequencies, yeah, how do you think do they know, like, your entire body is full of heat, right? Your entire body is full of heat. So it's not like that they have heat vision, yeah. From if they land on your skin, it's not about heat vision. They don't see, yeah. If it's a heat vision, then you'll be whole red. The entire body will be red, yeah, making it harder to detect veins. But since the blood is moving inside there and blood has crystals, they see the magnetic field, yeah, so they know exactly where to dig, okay. And this technology can be used for good in so many ways, like digging up wells, yeah. At least you can tell there is a vein of water over there, right? And without even digging. It's the same thing, yeah. It's the same thing as these I don't know, they call it MRI or CT scans, or I don't know, what do they call it, the one they use for bones, right? But all of these are just snapshots of a whole being, okay. So if you take the brain scans, you take the skeleton scans, you take there's a scan out there for testing your nerves. They inject you with something, and that something lights up when the machine hits you. So they are just taking tiny pictures of a bigger picture, okay. So if you're saying you're trying to heal a certain disease, you can't heal a certain perspective of the entirety of the system, okay. That's why we are seeing that the medical industry has people have lost faith in the medical industry, because it is not effective when it comes to really eliminating problems at their core completely, yeah. It is just there to put a bandage on the problem because there's money to be made, okay. So to each their own, okay. I'm just trying to make you comfortable with some things that schools really don't really teach. They're important, really important, beyond important, okay. So let's get to the pictures. So here we are, yeah. I have seen this mosquito in Tanzania today. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Where I'm sitting as I'm recording this video, I saw 3 of these because they are larger than normal. Right? Genetically modified mosquitoes are larger than normal. Yeah, I see mosquitoes every day. Yeah, and these GMO ones are larger than normal. Okay, it's not about the female male situation. There's a difference. Yeah, so they have deployed a weapon using mosquitoes. Yeah, how about that? I talked about analog computing. Okay, so people should start to learn how to code these microchips. Yeah, because in reality they are the future. They are the future. They are the solution to the processing problem that we have, the heating issues that we have, the power issues that we have. These are the problems. Yeah? They are the solutions. And of course, nobody's talking about this. People literally have footage of this guy committing this situation. Footage. And nobody's talking about it because it's their little group. It's their little Zionist group. So, to make you comfortable, I'll hit you with another one. Supposedly, I heard about this way back, I don't know, 2016 or 2015 somewhere, of a satellite that is just there observing, and they call it the Black Knight. Okay, so when they hit you with this image, just know that Easy showed you first. Okay, it's gonna make sense, the entirety of this. Okay, we are going somewhere. Of course, we have this situation. Okay, and we have, for instance, the movie Kong. Okay, the movie Kong is literally tied to this, right? So can the ice wall be superficial? Yes, of course it can. It can be superficial to make a prison of sorts, right? Because me honestly, not just from what I know, me myself, I honestly think that the dome is too high for the continents that are available. Okay, so I think we can assume that there are other continents that humanity is prohibited to go by these elites. Yeah, we know about the, I don't know, the 60-watt parallel up in the south. Yeah, why people are prohibited to go there, right? The whole Atlantic Treaty, the whole situation. Okay, so indeed, that hostility of weather over there can be man-made. Okay, we know that they have these HAP systems over there, right? Systems that control weather in these North Poles and South Poles. Yeah, they have projects over there, all of them. They say it's war, but if you look deep into it, it's not war really. It's just quote-unquote scientific research. Okay, Nazca, right? This is the Nazca lines. You can research about this. Yeah? I've shown you the Nazca lines, yeah, and we even had fun with the pictures, and we said that it can be like a landing strip. Yeah, we remember those. Yeah, the Nazca, and now people are asking, the people on the ground, due to history that is being taught, the people on the ground had no ability to fly. And yet they made this. They made this and many other phenomenons over there in Nazca, right? So they made this for a being that was up in the sky. So if it was not them, then who? Yeah, my guy calls him an astronaut. I like this guy. He gives information unbiasedly. Yeah? So it begs a question: how did they do it? We can answer and speculate. Okay, they did it like this. Yeah, maybe they made calculations. Yeah, you can scale up a model with calculation and make such a thing from the ground without assistance from above. But really, why would they make it in the first place? You know, it's clearly a figure of a person, of a figure of a humanoid person. Yeah, we see now everybody who supports the other side is a gang. Look at this journalism. This is journalism. Gang of pro Hamas. There's no pro Hamas. There's no such thing as pro Hamas. Nobody's pro Hamas, you idiot. People are pro Palestine. That's what I've heard. There's no pro Hamas, and Palestine does not directly mean Hamas. Hamas is your own creation. You freaking idiots and freaks. And they're even comparing it to whatever happened in Berlin. Like it's something, they show a wall and they're tearing down the wall for the Zionist society. For the people who say they're Jews but not Jews. Yeah, we cover the whole situation. Now they have to cover the whole situation and put a spin to the story. But really, I've told you what that situation is about. Racism. Yeah, the people over there in Latin America are racist just as much as white people. Okay, Mexicans are racist. Not all of them, most of them. Okay, I can safely say that. Yeah, despite of the economic fighting that has been brought up by, I don't know, the Europeans, just making Mexicans go after black jobs and black jobs going after Mexicans, just a whole situation. Yeah, but really it's about Judah. And of course, they are quick to react. Because they have their whole situation together. They're just reacting to the war, right? They might have not even discussed anything in that meeting. They just talked about how they are going to mess up the world and nothing about AI, because their plan, they do not make their plans. Okay, AI is not going to be regulated by Europe, man. The Europeans have no idea what these Zionists and demons are planning. And demons. So this is much of a Zionist propaganda and much of a demonic propaganda. They are one of the same. Yeah, they're in agreement. Look at this. Countries are more about own national interest over trading with whomever. Yeah, what this sounds more like a threat. You know, they say they are globalists. Like, I don't believe the globe anyway, but they say they are globalists, as in they believe in international trade is the only way to make dependable wealth. But really, they are not. They have not been doing what they are preaching, right? So, of course, we have the Zucker, who doesn't even know if he's a human or not. Zuckerberg, a German who is also Jews, because those Ashkenazis, some of them have German blood in them. Yeah, so the whole situation of the Holocaust becomes questionable. So it's not about the persecution of the peoples. That's why these Zionists do not want people to get DNA tests. They have even made it illegal to get DNA tests. Why? Because they will truly know that they are not natives to that region. They are not natives to that region. You know, this is how technology backfires on. Right? This is much more than it seems. Yeah, it's much more than it seems. It's a business of some elite, and it involves a lot of money. If that money were to be taken out of the European system or the American system, the whole thing would just collapse, literally. Okay, because these peoples are vampires. They do what vampires do. They drink blood. They drink energy. Yeah, you work hard, you become an addict, to their things, and then the addict is just basically they're dependent on you, right? They're dependent on you. It's like you're having a neural link on your head. Yeah, you can't just go down the road and ask a person to just fix it for you with a screwdriver and a kit. No. Yeah? So this is slavery. Look at this nonsense here. Look at these estimations. Why are they making these? They are trolling you right now. They are trolling us. They are trolling us. They were shouting at one point, nuclear energy is bad. Nuclear energy is bad. People shut down their nuclear production plants. Now they are now they are spinning the story and saying that carbon emissions can be reduced by nuclear energy. Do you see the backsliding of these people? They say things as long as it helps their cause, they say it. But if you say it because they see you as lesser than a person worthy of opinion, then they give you stupid stuff like this. They can give me stupid stuff like this. They give you presidents and you environmentalists stupid stuff like this, and you just swallow it every time. Okay, but I'm teaching you the game. Okay, and the game is this. The game is basically whatever they want it, whatever they want it to be. Okay, so you better get yourself out of this chokehold, your own damn self, out of this chokehold. Because if they're holding you in a chokehold, they're holding the entire nation at a chokehold. Right? The same thing as they hold me in a chokehold, they hold the entirety of the world on a chokehold. Okay, so you need to free yourself. Okay, you need to free yourself by not listening to whatever they say. Yeah, and just doing what's good for you, because you have the intelligence to know what is dangerous and what's not. They're not like, they're pretending to be gods basically, and it's annoying. Now look at this. There are activists out there that are supposedly they feel bad about how animals are prepared for meat. They have no issue. They have no issue at all with the death of a fellow human. They would pick up arms to protect animals. That's the falling away of society. Self-hatred. Self-hatred. Now where does the self-hatred come from, if not from evil spirits? Where does self-hatred come from? What makes a person insecure, do you think? To walk around and chop off their titties and put silicone in them, or to get vasectomies or whatever, or Botox, is if a third party came up and said, your nose is huge, bro, I think you could do something about it. Or they look at a lady like, my ex had bigger chests than yours, so how about you do something about it? I can give you this money. And you get what I'm saying, right? And this is self-hatred. Yeah, they don't know that this will backfire on them. Yeah, it will backfire. It does. It usually does, just like feminists. Of course, there is a push. Now, the question I ask is this. Okay, you made digital identities, right? But people lose their identities. People change their identities. How do you tie an identity to a person indefinitely? God was a genius. He gave us faces. He gave us DNA to distinguish us from one person from another, right? Even if one is the offspring of the other, but the genetics differ. It's a unique DNA sequence. That wasn't enough. They want to overlay that system. And here is the mark of the beast. Yeah, the X is the mark. Yeah? X marks the spot. So Mr. X is in the center of this. Yeah, if they mark you permanently, okay, people say that, oh, I don't know, it's a subdermal, I don't know, RFID chip. People can get rid of them. I don't know, it's over on top of your hand. Some I saw this a sticker. This sticker, they say it's a sticker. No, it's not. It's not gonna be a sticker. It has to be something more. People can get rid of stickers. People can get rid of what's underneath their skin. But what is implanted inside your brain, that's a whole other ball game. Okay, that's a whole other ball game. That's the entirety other ball game. Because it's much more complicated. Because they say the brain is delicate, and you for sure yourself, you do not want to mess with your brain. Yeah, because you know it is a dangerous thing to do. But these things, that these people, they're doing it every day, and they're making people more comfortable with it. Because why? They want to have your body and put a demon in there. Yeah. More incitement. Like who in their right mind records this footage? Who recorded this? They just have black people up in arms against white people. Like white people are the problem. White people are not the problem. The Nephilim are the problem. They infiltrated, they look like white people, they look like black people. So for all I know, George Floyd could be a Nephilim. You get what I'm saying? If George Floyd was a Nephilim, that changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it? The whole dynamic changes. Right? So, not fall victim to these psyops. How many people died because of the riots in the BLM? What about those? Are you going to have more riots about those people? You say that you are rioting because of one person dying. Now more people have died. So you're like, you get what I'm saying? So, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? Let me look at the next picture. Okay. What are you looking at? This is a gold disc. Okay, this is a gold disc that was sent to space, far deep into space. Right? We're going to talk about what every of those diagrams mean. Yeah? They are sent this deep into space. Yeah? So as if any civilization comes across the vessel, any alien civilization comes across the vessel, then they know exactly where we are. Now, for a people saying that they do not have proof of the existence of any, it's funny how they react, right? This thing introduces you to another phenomenon. What is this thing? Well, this thing is a response to this thing, right? We gave these supposed aliens in these gold discs details of our genetic makeup, right? And I remember back then when this phenomenon happened, somebody literally decoded the whole situation, right? We can see that in the middle part. That's a helix, yeah? That's a helix, yeah, of the DNA. So it is a response. So literally this is an alien response to this. Okay? This is a literal alien response to that. Okay? There are more actually. And they are impressive. Trust me, they are impressive. Some people have tried to dismiss them as some, I don't know, some artists going there and basically slashing. These are called CropCycles, yeah? If you want to research them. They're called CropCycles. Yeah? It's a phenomenon up there in Babylon, England, right? They happen in farms. Yeah? Just huge pictures that can only be perceived by fully from above, right? I've seen footage of what makes these things real ones, exactly, okay? Because don't get me wrong, there are fake ones and there are real ones, okay? And their characteristics, and they are highly distinct, okay? The man-mades are not as accurate because they usually make them in the night, okay? You can imagine making that thing in the night in a green field by just laying down grass in a certain manner. It will be impossible, okay? If you look the one on the right, that's almost nonsense, eh? So what makes these things a ball of light? I saw footage out there, right? A ball of light hovering in a field, just drawing, and during the morning they flew a drone over there and it was an image, okay? And some people took these images further and made them into 2D or 3D, because that is 1D, right? Because that's 1D, but in reality it is 3D, yeah? Even the one on the right, it is a 3D image but in 1D, yeah? It is 1D but 3D. How shadows, okay? You can look at the artifacts in the cycles in the left image, yeah? The cycles, there are some places that are more shiny and the other places are more green, because really it's a 3D image, okay? So these aliens can create 3D image within a 3D image in 1D image, okay? It's just crazy, okay? And the phenomenon, people who have done real research on this phenomenon, because even this year, I'm sure some of them are drawn, okay? People who are researching these things, to know a real one is quite easy. Radiation, and the second thing is that these because they wait for a specific length of these trees, I don't know, plants, stalks. These stalks are then bent but not killed, okay? They are bent, okay? They just bend the stalk of the plant to make that. They do not kill it, okay? And if you go there with the instrument to detect radiation, there will be higher amount of radiation, okay? So there's been many evidence of these supposed aliens out there, more than people are willing to admit, or actually people know, okay? But I've gone there. I have gone so deep, okay? So there's nothing people can tell me about these things that I don't know yet, okay? So there's the other phenomenon, yeah? This is cow mutilations, and this whole situation started over there in Texas, yeah? Farmers keep finding their cows drained of blood, okay? No internal organs, no blood, and the cuts are precise, okay? And the cuts are the same, okay? You see the ones in the mouth and in the rib and in the anus, yeah? Now look at this, yeah? And the cuts are so precise that scientists that have looked at this incidents, because there are many, yeah, they say it takes a lot high technology. You can see these documentaries by Discovery. There is high technology that was used to do such things, and what is even more impossible is they left no evidence, okay? So how, yeah, how, right? It's just technology that we do not know about yet, okay? And in reality, these supposed aliens don't need cows, because there are no aliens. We live in an enclosed systems, okay? There are no cows, okay? There are no cows that they need. They can just buy and experiment on them. They can just clone them. So why are they doing this? Yeah, they are telling people like, yo, we exist, aliens exist, and alien exists. And people who are smart, who have actually followed up and just followed up in the situation, they will reach the same conclusion that I have, that indeed aliens exist, yeah, beings from other dimensions exist, but the explanation as they come from Mars or whatever, that is rubbish. Okay, that is rubbish. Okay, we see that the world at one point had one system of belief. One system of belief. So what happened? What happened? We shall talk about this. Okay, I've not forgotten about piezoelectricity, my friend. I've not forgotten about it. I have not forgotten about it. Okay, so let's go at interpretation of the disc. Yeah. So they sent music, they sent recordings, a lot of things. So number one, it shows how to play the record. Okay, those vinyl records. Yeah. They gave instructions. They created a whole other language, an international language. If that's not Babylon, then I don't know what is. Yeah, a new language to speak to everybody. Yeah? And the language is just math. Yeah, a side view of the record, a stylus. Yeah, binary arithmetic below show that the record has about an hour of playtime. Yeah. The pulsar map shows the location of the sun and the direction of the 14 of the pulsars. Binary code along each pulsar gives the frequency. Yeah, the location of our sun. Literally, they know some things that they're not telling you. Supposedly. Okay, if that's not deception, I don't know what is. Yeah. Number 8, it says illustration shows the two lowest states of hydrogen atom, and vertical lines dot shows the spin moment of the atoms, protons and electrons. And the connecting lines show the transmission from one of the states. We use the time scale for all pictures or cover up the world of the records and this and that. Right? So it shows the two important atoms and their properties and whatnot. So they say. I'm just here to read what they're saying. Right? Number 6, if the pictures are rendered correctly, the first image or record should match this image. This image frame showing each of the scanning vertical line contains 512 lines. Yeah? Picture lines of a 2 and 3 shows that they are drawn vertically within staggered interlace. 3, the diagram, and the 3 below explain the images of the record. Yeah? The wavelength illustrated how pictures are constructed of analog video signals. That's why they buy an analog, because most of the technology is analog, so analog processors make sense. So I don't know why they went with digital, but I'm just okay. With binary arithmetic showing that each scan lasts 8 milliseconds, right? So there is a record. This is just a map, a key to the map. Okay, symbols explain the record's use. Yeah. So there is a record they literally sent to aliens, right? The rulers that be literally sent. Remember the singularity situation I was talking about? Why do they have the ankh in there? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Don't worry. Don't worry. But just get comfortable. Get comfortable. Okay? So we have vehemently attacked the alien situation. Yeah? And it's not over, people. Trust me. It's not over. Okay? I've just given you, I don't know, a quote of what I have seen and know. Okay? So I'm just not trying to flood your brain with a lot of information, okay, to confuse you. Okay? I need you to follow me slowly. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll end this video here. So see each other when we see each other. General Easy, Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.